Travel along, Catholic pilgrims, as we learn from St. Augustine, Doctor of the Church, while we read his book, Confessions. Hello, Catholic pilgrims. We are starting to wind down Book 10, so some of what we are going to read about is St. Augustine summarizing a little bit the path that he took to purge away a lot of sins. This reflection may not be suitable for young ears. Let's read from Book 10, Chapter 40 on page 248. You have walked everywhere at my side, O truth, teaching me what to seek and what to avoid, whenever I laid before you the things that I was able to see in this world below and asked you to counsel me. As far as my senses enabled me to do so, I surveyed the world about me and explored both the life which my body has from me and the senses themselves. Next, I probed the depths of my memory, so vast in its ramifications and filled in so wonderful a way with riches beyond number. I scrutinized all these things and stood back in awe, for without you I could see none of them, and I found that none of them was you. Nor was I myself the truth. I who found them, I who explored them all and tried to distinguish and appraise each according to its worth. Some of them were conveyed to me by means of my physical senses, and I subjected them to question. Others, which closely concerned my own self, I encountered in my feelings. I enumerated the various means by which their messages were brought to me and distinguished between them. And in the great treasury of my memory, there were yet other things that I examined. Some of them I returned to the keeping of my memory, others I picked out for study. But when I was doing all this, I was not myself the truth. That is, the power by which I did it was not the truth, for you, the truth, are the unfailing light from which I sought counsel upon all these things, asking whether they were, what they were, and how they were to be valued. But I heard you teaching me, and I heard the commands you gave. Often I do this. I find pleasure in it, and whenever I can relax from my necessary duties, I take refuge in this pleasure. But in all the regions where I thread my way seeking your guidance, only in you do I find a safe haven for my mind, a gathering place for my scattered parts, where no portion of me can depart from you. And sometimes you allow me to experience a feeling quite unlike my normal state, an inward sense of delight, which, if it were to reach perfection in me, would be something not encountered in this life, though what it is I cannot tell. But my heavy burden of distress drags me down again to earth. Again I become a prey to my habits, which hold me fast. My tears flow, but still I am held fast. Such is the price we pay for the burden of custom. In this state I am fit to stay, unwilling though I am. In that other state, where I wish to stay, I am not fit to be. I have double cause for sorrow. Many years ago, when I was a counselor for victims of sexual violence, I went to a day-long training one year. The training focused primarily on drug abuse, as many victims of this horrific crime end up coping by using drugs. Well, at one point in the day, a lady gave a talk. She was a recovered meth user, and her talk was on her early years and then her introduction into drugs, the subsequent abuse that followed, how her life unraveled, the many arrests that she had, and her eventual recovery after many, many years. And she showed us her arrest pictures, and it was quite shocking to see the devastation that meth had on her body. The one thing that really stuck out to me, and the thing I remember the most, is how even though she was sober, even though she had gotten some of her life back, even though she was a professed Christian, she still looked very sad and sorrowful. Through her talk, she told us about many sins that she had committed over the years in order to obtain drugs. Stealing, lying, prostitution, neglect of her children, and much more. And while she acknowledged that she had been forgiven and was given a second chance at life, she still was just a very sad person. And how could you not be? Even though sins are forgiven, the memory of what you have done doesn't disappear. St. Augustine has acknowledged his sins, has asked for forgiveness, has turned his life around, desires to love God well, and yet, he says at the very end, he still feels sorrow because sometimes his habits, sometimes his customs keep him in a state of life that he doesn't want to be anymore, and keep him from moving into a state of life that he's not quite fit for yet. I know that I feel the same way, and we should feel sorry for our sins. Our sins should make us feel so sorrowful that we never wish to commit them again. That's true contrition. And it can be difficult to not dwell on them and wish that we'd live differently, but we have to remember that the past is in the past, and we cannot change it. And so the best that we can do is to move forward with joyful resolve to add more good moments, more joyful moments, more loving moments. We can always take our tragedy and use our story to help another, and that's ultimately what truly matters. But we will pause here for today, Catholic Pilgrims. Have a good day, and until I meet you back here again, live the faith boldly and travel well.